Darshitalia. Welcome to my channel Darshonium. In today's video, we'll be learning about Aufbau Principle. The Aufbau Principle was stated by Niels Bohr and Wolfgang Pauli in the earlier 1920s. The statement of the principle is, in the ground state of an atom or an ion, the electrons are filled in the subshells having the lowest energy first, and then the subsequent electrons are fed into the other subshells in the increasing order of their energies. Now, this simply means that the electrons will occupy first the subshell having the lowest energy, and then as the energy goes on increasing, the subshells will be filled. Now, this word Aufbau is a German word which means building up. Now, what did they build up? On the basis of the diagram that you can see on the screen, both the scientists formulated the way in which the increasing energy of the subshells is written, that you can see at the bottom of the screen. That is 1s2, 2s2, 2p, 6 and 8, so on and so forth. It goes up till 7p. Now, how to memorize this increasing order of the subshell's energy? There are two ways. First is the classical way, and then I will also be teaching you the shortcut. So first, let us start with the classical way. Now, first, in order to find out the classical way, we will write 1s. Exactly below 1s, we will write 2s, and on its side, we will write 2p. Below 2s, we will write 3s, and on its side, exactly below 2p, 3p, and on its side again 3d. Then we will write below 3s, 4s, then 4p, 4d, and 4f. We all know that there are 4 blocks only, S, P, D, F, and hence we will stop at F, and then we will go up till 7, as we know that there are 7 periods. So we will write 5s, 5p, 5d, 5f, 6s, 6p, 6d, 6f, 7s, 7p, 7d, and 7f. Now, after writing this, we saw in the diagram that I showed previously, there were some arrows passing through it. So we will mark the diagonal arrows. These arrows represent the way in which the filling will go. So the very first arrow is passing through 1s. So the very first electron is always filled in 1s. So I will write here 1s. The second arrow is passing only through 2s, and hence the second filling will be done in 2s. The third arrow passes through 2 subshells, that is 2p and 3s, but first it passes through 2p. So after 2s, the next electron will enter in 2p and then in 3s. The fourth arrow is passing through 3p and 4s. The next arrow is passing to 3d, 4p, and 5s. Similarly, you can see the next arrow is passing through 4d, 5p, 6s. The next arrow is passing through 4f, 5d, 6p, and 7s. And the last and final arrow is passing through 5f, 6p, 7p. So if we see that I showed you the increasing order that I showed you in the previous screen, we have got the same pattern. So this was the classical way. Now, let me teach you a very easy shortcut, because we have to write the electronic configurations, and in the entrance exam it would be very easy for you, and it is required very quickly. So there is no time to write everything. So how to write it very easily? Now, here I have written all the 4 subshells S, P, D, F. We know there are 4 subshells S, P, D, F. Now, what we will do, we will take only S and write it twice. So here I have written S, S. Now what we will do, we will take pairs but in reverse, that is P and S together, and that we will write it twice again. So we will write PS, PS. So up till now what we got? SS, PS, PS. Then we will take the 3 trios together from backward direction, that is DPS. So we will write DPS, DPS twice. So till now we will get SS, PS, PS, DPS, DPS. And last and finally we will take all the 4 together in reverse direction, that is FDPS, and we will write it twice. So we will get FDPS and FDPS. So this is the thing that we got. Now what we will do, we will start numbering. Very first number is S. So we will start numbering all the S's from left to right So the very first S is 1s, next S is 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, and last is 8s. Then the second subshell is P, so it is starting or it is on the number 2. So very first P that we see, we will number it as 2P. So it is 2P, then 3P, 4P, 5P, 6P and 7P. Itna hi hai. Then the third subshell is D. So very first D that we see in this line, will number it as 3. So it will be 3D, 4D, 5D and 6D. Last and final is F. F we can see there it is on number 4, right? So we'll number very first F as 4F. So there are 2F only. So one is 4F and one is 5F. If we compare this, we will get the same answer that we got from the classical method. But this is very easy. So these were the two methods to memorize all of these series of increasing order of the energies of the subshells. Now, before taking example, let me take you let me tell you a very important point. The 4 subshells can hold only maximum of some electrons, that is s orbit. Please remember, this is very important. S orbit can hold maximum of 2 electrons. So we'll write it as superscript. So the electrons are written as superscript. Then P can hold 6 electrons, D can hold 10 electrons and F can hold 14 electrons. So let me revise it once again. S2, P6, D10, F14. So as the subshell will be filled, it will move on to the next subshell. So let us take the example that I took in my last video. It is of potassium. The atomic number is 19. So we have to fill 19 electrons. Now, what I said in my last video, that the configuration of potassium is 2, 8, 8, 1. Now how is this? We'll get it from Aufbau principle. Now let us start filling the subshell. Very first subshell is 1s. S can hold 2 electrons. So out of 19, 2 electrons are filled in 1s. So I have written 1s and subscript mein 2. Remaining 17 electrons will be filled in next. So the next subshell comes is 2s. 2s can also hold 2 electrons. So here also it is 2s, 2. Remaining are 15 electrons. So next comes 2p. P can hold 6 electrons. So it will be 2p6. Next comes 3s. 3s can hold 2 electrons. So it is 3s2. Then comes 3p. 3p can hold 6 electrons. So it will become 3p6. Now, this if we add, it is becoming 18. So remaining 1 electron will go in 4s orbit according to the increasing order. So it will be 4s1. So this is the electronic configuration of potassium. Now how can we correlate this to the previous video? We can see in 1s there is only 1s which has 2 electrons. So we have written 2. In 2s, we have 2s and 2p which have total 2 plus 6, 8 electrons. So it will become 2, 8. In the 3s, we will have 3s which has and 3p. 3s has 2 and 3p has again 6. So which is 8. So we got 2, 8, 8 and 4s has only 1. So which will get 2, 8, 8, 1 and hence our answer was 2, 8, 8, 1. So now let us take one more example. We'll take example of iron. The atomic number of iron is 26. So the electrons which are present are 26. Now we'll go very quickly. So we'll start filling. So the first subshell is 1s. So 1s has 2 electrons. 2s2 will have 2 electrons. 2p will have 6 electrons. 3s will have 2 electrons. 3p will have 6 electrons. 4s will have 2 electrons and 3d will have 6 electrons. So this will be the electronic configuration of iron. So this was the Aufbau principle. I hope that every one of you got this method of filling of electronic configuration. This is very important from exam point of view as well as in entrance exam. So this was my video on Aufbau principle. I hope every one of you liked this video. If you liked my video, please smash out the like button. If you have any suggestion or any queries, please comment right below. Thank you for giving me all your time. I hope everyone enjoyed. सब लोग मजे करो.